So today I want to talk about two other topics that the biggest topic in Jamaica entertainment space right now. And one of them is Vybz Kartel and the fallout from the One Caribbean Music Festival in Trinidad and Tobago. And people are still talking about the fallout from that. And what does this mean for the Jamaica music industry? People are having the conversation like, is the revelation of Vybz Kartel $1.3 million booking fee, is that going to do some damage to the Jamaica music industry? And we've seen people coming out from all over, even from Europe, talking about this thing with dancehall and reggae artists and the fee that they're charging. So I want to talk about that. And what is amazing is that the conversation is happening, but there's a lot of things that's not being said, and I find that very strange. I also want to talk about the situation with Squash. So dancehall artist Squash has found himself in some trouble again, and some serious trouble with the American federal government. And that is not trouble that you want with the Americans. So those are the two things I want to talk about. So let's kick it off with Squash. So this report is coming from Nationwide News with Squash, with the FBI being investigating Squash, and that dancehall artist Squash could face up to 15 years in federal prison and face also deportation.
Federal officials in the United States appear to have Squash in a difficult position. The artist was arrested on February 24 this year during a traffic stop in Miami. He was hit with gun-related charges after a modified Glock pistol was found in the passenger side of the glove compartment in the vehicle he was traveling in. Squash pleaded not guilty to illegal possession of a modified weapon and possession of a concealed weapon without a permit. On May 15, federal prosecutors sealed a criminal complaint against Squash. Weeks later, on May 27, the Six Boss was given a trial date in Miami after attorneys had filed 24 motions on notices. That's when the feds swooped in, telling the judge in Miami of their intention to take over the case. The Fed says Squash is known to law enforcement as an active member and leader of a transnational criminal organization that engages in various forms of criminal activity. They say the file on him dates back to 2017, when he was issued a tourist visa to enter the United States. Squash entered the US on May 8, 2019, and left 2 days later. According to the court documents, his first run-in with the law in the US occurred in 2023. At the time, Squash and two others were pulled over by officials from the Broward Sheriff's Office. During the traffic stop, it was discovered Squash had entered the US illegally on January 20, 2021, without being inspected at any checkpoint. The authorities were told by an informant that Squash had entered the US illegally via the border. Apparently, Squash, the so-called leader of the G-City gang, fled Jamaica after the gang became embroiled in a deadly feud with a rival gang. The feds say that conflict began in St. James and spilled onto the streets of Florida. Squash was handed over to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, where he was detained for nearly 2 months awaiting removal proceedings. The removal proceedings remain pending, but Squash was released on bond after he and an American citizen got married while he was in detention. The feds say that same woman is the one who bought one of the guns that Squash was held with after a traffic stop in late February this year. The FBI say they have probable cause for Squash to be charged with being an illegal alien in possession of a firearm and unlawful possession of a machine gun. Both charges carry maximum sentences of 10 years in prison, which could be extended to a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison if there are 3 prior convictions. There is also the strong possibility of deportation if convicted. For the time being, Squash remains a guest of the Federal Bureau of Prisons at the Miami Detention Center. Come September 2, USA versus Whitaker gets underway in the Southern District of Florida. If Squash wants to avoid going to trial, he has until August 26 to enter a plea agreement with the government.
Okay, so that report was from Nationwide News. So what are my thoughts about this? I think that this is very unfortunate because Squash is a talented artist. Squash is someone that not many people have some people call it luck, but how Squash was able to come in a music industry that is very hard to get into, and to come and to form a group and to pretty much take over the dancehall space for probably about 3 to 4 years. He was pretty much taking over the space and running things. And for him to be in this position after being so successful in the music space, this is just unfortunate. But we just have to watch and see what is going to happen. But going up against the American federal government, I think they have like a 95 or so % success rate when they take you to court. So this is not looking good for Squash. Sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. Why did Squash get himself in this type of trouble, and how is this looking for dancehall artists in Jamaica now and the music? Because one of the things that I've realized is that in the past 15 years, some of our top dancehall artists have been arrested, incarcerated. For the past 15 years, we have Vybz Kartel, we have Buju Banton, we have Tommy Lee, we have Squash, and so many more, Ninja Man. So a lot of our dancehall, and I'm not talking about in the past, like sometimes you would have dancehall artists get arrested, but these are some guys that are upcoming and they are not like that big yet. But I've never seen a time in the music industry where so many top dancehall artists have been arrested, and this is not a good look for the Jamaican music industry. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So let's talk about the Vybz Kartel conversation now. So this whole Vybz Kartel conversation is getting very interesting, and I predicted it. When Vybz Kartel came out of prison and announced the concert, you know, I said it at the time, we're going to be talking about Vybz Kartel for probably about 2 years, like non-stop. Because one thing he knows how to do is market himself. He's a marketing genius. If nothing else, Vybz Kartel is like, we have never seen anything in dancehall or reggae music in terms of how someone can market themselves and you can be talking about them like non-stop. And that has been Vybz Kartel. To be able to do that while incarcerated, like if there was any doubt that he is like a marketing genius, that should have told you. So this whole conversation now, what is interesting about the conversation with Vybz Kartel and the revelation of the $1.3 million fee, and now people are saying that the other entertainers are going to try and raise their fee, and this is going to be damaging to the industry. But what I find interesting about this conversation is not so much what people are saying about this whole thing with Vybz Kartel and the impact that it could have on the Jamaican entertainment industry. Like, I'm just curious about the things that people are not saying. And I find it interesting that nobody is saying that. What industry are we talking about? Jamaica, dancehall, reggae, music, live music industry have been wiped out decades ago. So I'm listening to this conversation and I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, what industry? Like, when you go back to late 80s, early 90s, you can count the amount of dancehall shows from Reggae Sunsplash, Reggae Sumfest, Saggle to the East. Like, there were so many reggae concerts in Jamaica, live performance in Jamaica in the 90s, in the late 80s. Like, I think on average you would have at least 4 per month. Like, Jamaica was buzzing in the 90s, in the 80s. And so when people are having this conversation, I'm like, what music industry are they talking? What? Because there's not a lot of stage show going on in Jamaica. That industry seemed to be completely wiped out. And one other thing with this whole thing that they are saying that, okay, the fee that Vybz Kartel charge, a lot of people are going to charge it, and a lot of people are going to increase their fees, and promoters are not going to be able to pay people for their time. That already happened decades ago. If you notice, like, I'm not in that space anymore. I used to be in the music space back in the 90s. And as I said, in the 90s, like, one promoter in Jamaica could have at least 5 shows per year that would pretty much keep that promoter busy for the entire year. You don't have to do anything else. You just put on 5 shows and you're good. That is your 9 to 5. But now the only show that we really see in Jamaica, live performance, is with Sumfest, and Joe Bogdanovich seemed to be the only producer in Jamaica, the only promoter in Jamaica that can put on a big show like that. Jamaica have transformed from live music to like parties, like weekend parties, like in Negril, in Ocho Rios, those like beach parties. Because what a lot of the younger promoters have found out is that live entertainment is so expensive. So they just put on a beach party, like get a foam pit, put some music, all-inclusive parties, and they spend less than $1 million, $1 million US to cover the entire Dream Weekend or whatever party they're putting without live performance, with 2 or 3 DJs spinning, all-inclusive, and that they'll make their money from that. But a lot of people are not making money from live performance anymore. So I'm surprised people not talking about that. The only thing, as I say, you have Sumfest, you have Rebel Salute, and that is it. You don't have a lot of stage shows, and not only in Jamaica, but as you saw, like one of the producers, the promoters from Europe said, there's not a lot of shows going on in Europe. Also, Japan Splash is dead. Japan Splash used to be like a massive thing with hundreds of thousands of people. Some of the other shows in Germany, they're still on, but not as much as like in the 90s and in the early 2000s. Germany had shows like all the time. Now, just 1 or 2 big shows in Germany. Canada, there's nothing in Canada. I know a few artists came to Canada a few months ago. Like Buju Banton was the biggest one that performed in the Scotiabank Arena, and the last person that did that was Shabba Rankin. So there's not a lot of live show going on anymore. So this conversation about Vybz Kartel fee and what will this mean for dancehall, that is way too late. Like dancehall and live entertainment is already dead. So that is not even a conversation. And if you notice, like I would say most of the performers nowadays, apart from a few reggae artists, only a few reggae artists perform with bands. I don't know. I can't even name, I don't think I can name one reggae band right now. Back in the 80s, you had about like 20 of them that you could just like name like this. But so live music is dead, regardless of what people want to say. This has nothing to do with Vybz Kartel and how much Vybz Kartel is charging now. And if what Vybz Kartel is charging is too expensive. Because in my opinion, if the promoter said that they're going to pay, that means it's not too expensive. Because I guarantee you, not everybody can look at a promoter and say, like, I want $1 million. And I'm sure, like, from the conversation that's happening, and they're saying that people are going to increase their asking fee, I guarantee you that a lot of these entertainers that want to increase their asking fee, when they increase it, the promoter is just going to say, you know what? Forget about it. We'll keep a party. We'll go do Dream Weekend. We'll do something else. But not everybody can ask for $1 million. Not everybody's going to get $1 million. So that is it. So guys, sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. Do you agree that, look, live performance, dancehall, reggae, it's been dead, like I would say at least 15, 20 years now. The demise of the music industry, the live performance industry, is not going to be placed on Vybz Kartel or what Vybz Kartel is doing now, because that time already passed. Not a lot of people putting on concerts, not a lot of people having live performance in 2025. So sound off in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content. And remember, peace. I'm out.